welcome to the August edition of Trowel Time. It's great to have you with us. This is the 5th episode and kind of the end of our summer series, so it's good to have you with us. As always, with me is Tom Braun. Tom is our erstwhile Grand Lecturer, and Bill Finkel, past Grand Master and currently Grand Secretary. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you with us.
Nice to be here, Bob.
Yeah. Have a good drive up?
Excellent.
This is being filmed on a Wednesday, and it is gorgeous. Beautiful day. Way too nice to be in here. But here's where we are, so we're glad to be with you. And as always, behind the scenes, making this whole thing work is our videographer and general techno geek, Ben Tigner. So, Ben, thanks, Ben. Doing a great job. A smattering of applause for Ben, right? Beautiful. All right. It's time. This episode of Trowel Time, we decided to mix it up a little bit. Our good friend out in the office, Darren Thompson, had the idea of putting together questions and putting that out to the fraternity. And some of you were kind enough to send in some questions. So we're going to do some questions and answers and talk about some things that are coming up and have some good time. And then we'll call it a day. All right. So first up, we have some questions for the Grand Lecturer. And these are of value to everybody. So, Brother Tom, who wears the hat in a lodge? Not in Grand Lodge, in a lodge.
The only person that wears a hat in the lodge is the elected worshipful master.
Because you would go, I know Bill and I have talked, but you go to some lodges, you find some of the guys like myself that like to wear caps and stuff outside, they might have a hat on inside the lodge. Is that appropriate?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. What happens if you wear a hat inside the lodge?
You take that off.
Okay.
As soon as the master gets ready to open up that lodge. And if the master decides to delegate maybe one of the degrees to a past master or one of his wardens, that person does not wear the hat when he sits in the east. That hat is only for the worshipful master. Now,
some places, does Grand Lodge law in Michigan prescribe the kind of hat, or because I've seen some where it's more of like a workman's cap with a square on it.
Yeah.
In Indiana, that's very popular. I know that. Some lodges have a fedora.
Yeah, what we say is an appropriate hat.
Okay,
and that really is the master's decision.
All right.
I've seen fedoras. I've seen cowboy hats.
Okay, well, good. All right, good answer. Wearing of regalia at the places and stations. What?
In some lodges, if the person's sitting in a place or a station that is not that elected individual, some of those brothers are putting on the regalia for that station, and that is not correct.
Okay.
The only person that should wear the regalia of that station or place is the elected brother.
Or appointed.
Or appointed.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, good to know. All right. We often refer to signs and symbols. So what are signs?
Signs, when you ask a lot of the brothers, you'll get very answers.
Sure.
Signs are right angles, horizontals, and perpendiculars.
Yeah.
And these are things that the DDIs need to speak about in their lodges of instructions and inform the brothers and remind the seasoned brothers what signs really are. This is an appropriate point for lodges to understand that it's a small piece to inspire those new Masons, because they are making those Masons for tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're their Masons. They're their future officers.
Good. So a sign isn't just a thing that we do.
No.
There is a prescribed piece of it, right?
Correct.
And it is a right angle.
A horizontal.
And for those that remember what a right angle is, so
That's
a right
right.
angle, a horizontal, and it also consists of a perpendicular.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. All right,
Okay.
good stuff. And that was in our proficiency back, when all of us joined.
Correct.
But if it isn't, if we don't do that Masonic lecture series, it's hard to find those kinds of things unless you actually look for it.
Right. Those are things that are just going to fall by the wayside
Yeah.
if we don't remember.
So lodges, remind your DDIs when they come to do a lodge of instruction that you should talk to them about signs.
Correct.
Good. You got a rededication coming up, I see.
We do on the 18th of September at Lakeshore Lodge in Benton Harbor.
Yep.
excited about us being there.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be a good time. It's going to be on a Sunday.
Yeah, very different for us.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, very different. Lakeshore Lodge, great lodge. It's one of my old lodges when I was a BGP in that district.
Oh, okay,
and,
great.
Yeah, yeah, great group of guys. So you'll have fun down there with that. Tell us about the Cornerstone at Detroit, though.
On the 24th
Yeah.
of September, we will be rededicating the Cornerstone at the Detroit Masonic Temple, and it's going to be a huge occasion. I've been working with their temple board, who has talked to every lodge within the building, and I believe it's Zion #1 has requested that we do it.
Okay.
So we have an official request from one of the lodges to do this
Yeah.
ceremony.
That's great.
And it's going to be held at, it'll be 5 o'clock is the ceremony, so we'll be there for a little prior to that. And it's exciting. It's going to be well attended. We have news coverage that will be there. The mayor's office has been contacted, so
Good.
we'll see who actually shows up, but we're excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Be a great celebration for that temple in that city.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and don't go away. We'll be right back.
As I reread the Masonic obligations and the history of Masonry, what's happening here is certainly in line with those teachings. And it makes us very proud to be a part of the Masonic family at this time.
When I was Grand Master many years ago, my wife said, if we live long enough, we're going to go to the Michigan Masonic Home.
There's a lot of competition out there. And this is a business, let's face it. And a lot of businesses out there want our money. And so the Masons are very, very prominent people. They donate a lot of money to a lot of things. And so it's important for me to continue this up.
This place didn't just happen. A lot of Masons and Eastern Star people through the years have found ways to support this facility, and it is absolutely necessary that they continue to do this. I just don't know where some of these people would be.
You know, I've talked to quite a few people that have moved here from other places, other homes that they lived in, and they all praise this place.
I can't think of any place else I'd rather be.
And thank you for coming back, and we're back from our short break with Bill Finkel. Brother Bill, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Bob.
Good.
A lot better than I was a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
So,
well, we're glad you're on the mend
Yep.
and feeling good and enjoying the summer and
Oh, yeah.
playing a little golf out there.
A little bit.
All right.
Spending a lot of time in the backyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and in other, as they say, in the woods and other dark places on a golf course. Yeah, that's where I spend most of my time.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you here. How about COVID? How's COVID going out there?
Well, you know, Bob, it's
With the
very
lodges.
surprising that last week in Michigan there were 17,000 cases reported. Almost 3,000 a day, which is 1,000 more than it was this time last year.
Yeah.
So COVID has not gone away.
No, it has
And
not.
you know, the Spanish flu of 1917 lasted from March 17 till July 21. And I think that this COVID is going to be around the same amount of time.
Mhm.
And brothers need to take every precaution, wash hands, use the stuff to put on your hands, be careful.
Yeah, and if you're compromised, if you've got some health concerns, for heaven's sakes, wear a mask and
Stay home.
Just stay home.
Yeah, right.
We don't want any more getting sick and dying. You know, it did cost Michigan Masonry a lot of our brothers,
Yeah.
and we don't have numbers on that, but I know that it took some that were very close to me.
And
So
we've got monkeypox.
monkeypox.
Sneaking in. So
Yeah.
not good.
I'm not overly concerned about monkeypox
No.
myself,
No.
but that's just me.
Different method of transition. And,
Yeah,
and so
that's
I
right.
think
So September, Bill, you know, is the month when the lodges have to act on their suspensions for non-payment of
Yeah.
dues. So what would you like to say to the lodges about that process?
well, you know, all lodges go to a lot of trouble, checking candidates out, going through the initiation process, spend a lot of time and effort to get people into lodge. And it seems to me that at least the same amount of time and effort should be given before anybody's suspended.
Sure.
And I'm not sure that we're doing due diligence for everybody, but we should think twice about just saying we don't want you anymore.
Yeah, and we've got some questions that some of the brothers sent in to Trowel Time, so we're going to talk about those, and they address some of the issues with suspension. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute.
The other thing about September, Bob, in my opinion, it's the hardest meeting of the year because most lodges are down July and August. Getting people back into the habit of going to lodge is sometimes a little tough. So the hardest meeting of the year is the business meeting in September.
Especially those that meet on the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Yeah,
right. That's just a tough meeting day.
Yeah.
So we wish you the very best with that.
Yeah.
Now, Bill, you mentioned earlier that you had gotten a little ill when you were out at the Northeast Conference of Grand Masters for that one.
Yeah.
And coming back though, you had a little bit of an issue, and then something wonderful happened.
Yeah, well, coming back, I ended up in the emergency room in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a substantial bill from them, which I didn't think I should have paid, but I got this bill. So I called the great people at Live Better at Home.
Yeah.
I talked to them. They told me who to call. And I'll be damned if the bill didn't just go away.
Yeah.
It's gone. This is just a great benefit of membership. I don't think a lot of our brothers are aware of. So secretaries, tell your people, use Live Better at Home. Call them, 1-800-321-9357. Give them a call.
Bill gets the golden star for remembering the phone number.
Wow.
And if you're Medicare, if you're Medicaid, even if you're not enrolled but you're eligible, that group, Patty, Aubrey, and Jessica, are just a tremendous wealth of knowledge and resources, and they can help with so many things. Yeah. If you're having, issues with maybe utilities at home, you want to do some planning for your future. You're not having any financial troubles, but you want to plan for your future, they can refer you to Green Path. We have so many things. The foundation has partnered with Free Will, and you can do your own will and those kinds of powers of attorney and some stuff on the website as well. So don't think that you're out there alone. You're not. There's a whole brotherhood.
Really, anything you have a question about, give them a call.
Absolutely.
Give them a
Health
call.
insurance.
Yeah.
Open enrollment. Those kinds of issues that you might have some confusion about, regardless of where you're at. Give us a call.
Patty told me that answered 8,000 phone calls this year and helped out 1,600 of our brothers.
Yeah.
That is just great.
That's
just
a
great.
big chunk of time and resources, and we're very proud of all of it.
And it's a one-off department. Nobody else has this. Nobody.
That's us.
Just us.
Yeah, that's a benefit of Michigan Masonry.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a great
So,
department. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Bill. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with our Q&A.
Every day we make choices. Choices to help ourselves. Choices that help those around us. When it's time to make a choice about your senior living options, consider Masonic Pathways. We offer choices for entertainment, socialization, and most importantly, choices that make life easier for you. When it's time to discuss choices in your life, make Masonic Pathways your first choice and contact our care team today.
And welcome back to the second half of our show. So it's good to have everybody with us again. Before we get into the Q&A, I got a few reminders. So the Bay City Masonic Car Show is going to happen August 27th at the Scottish Rite Center in Bay City from 12 to 4. There's a $20 registration, but there'll be food trucks and awards, and that'll be a lot of fun. So hope if you wanted to show your car, you get over to that. Phoenix Lodge down in Ypsi is also having a car and bike show September 10th, again from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that's at the temple as well. And they'll have dash plaques to the first 50 registrations, and registration is on site that morning. So head on down there if you want that. Have that fun on September 10th. It'll be a good time. All right. All right. Oh, one more very important piece on the back of the Cornerstone magazine, this last issue. You might have seen Homecoming on October 8th. But the the folks up here have decided that they're going to reimagine and move that out to the spring for a Lodge Leadership Day up here at the home on March 17th, which is a Friday here in Alma. And it'll be for anyone who is a current leader or officer, or anyone aspiring to become an officer, or anyone on a journey to be a better leader. And more details will be available after the first of the year. So this is prior to the BGP meeting on March 18th. So more information will be coming up on that. But basically it means that October 8th up here is canceled. So
Good to know.
don't travel up here if you don't have to. And now for some Q&A.
Yes, sir.
All right. Brother Finkel.
Yes, sir.
Can a suspended non-payment of dues member ever get back into the fraternity?
Absolutely. Just has to fill out a petition for restoration with the secretary, and then the lodge will vote on it.
So the first step is contact your lodge secretary. Yep. If you can't find that, by the way, you just go on to our website, and that's open to everybody, right? And it has a lodge locator in there, and you can get to that from there. Or call us at, what's the phone number? You knew it.
1-800-321-9357.
You can just call that number. We'll be happy to get you hooked up. And these questions came in from the website, folks, so and from our emails out from Darren Thompson. So, thank you for this, and do it every month, and we'll keep this going. But am I still considered a Mason if I'm suspended NPD, meaning non-payment of dues?
Yeah, you're suspended from Masonic activities, but not suspended from Masonry.
Okay.
So you are still considered a Mason.
You're just a suspended Mason.
Suspended Mason.
Okay. Can I still be informed about current Masonic issues?
Absolutely.
And one of those ways would be
the weekly newsletter.
The weekly newsletter. That's not, you don't have to be a Mason to get that. As a matter of fact, I would bet that probably as many that aren't Masons get that. So
you'd be surprised how many out-of-state people get our newsletter.
Get our newsletter, yeah, absolutely.
Like it very, very much.
So that is available. Facebook is not, you don't have to be that. You can follow us on Facebook and any of the other social media feeds that are out there. Good. We already kind of talked about what's the process for restoration, but basically you would fill out a petition that would come back to the lodge. And then the lodge has to vote on it and so forth. Yeah. The worshipful master can, if he deems it necessary, to have an investigation. Typically for somebody that's been out for a long, long time, but normally people know the guy involved. So yeah. I would recommend that though, especially if they've been out for a long time.
Absolutely.
Folks, you might want to do that. Should we, at the lodge level, reach out to non-payment of dues brothers as we would to sick and distressed?
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
They're still Masons.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. And then, I mean, there is a chance they'll come back. If we ignore them, they're never coming back.
They're never coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think one of the key issues when this process of suspension was that we currently go through up here at the office, where lodges submit their forms up to here. It really is to make sure that all of us have done our due diligence, if you will, in making sure that we've talked at least as best we can with the individuals that we're removing. And last year we I think that it was 300 and some were the final number that we suspended. And that's better than it's really been, right? But it still means that there are 300 men out there that voluntarily left our brotherhood, and that to me,
the really sad thing, Bob, is we don't know enough about those people.
Yeah,
a lot of them may be hurting for money financially. We don't know.
Yeah,
but we just let them go.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is going to be on the front end, doing a much better job, and then keeping members enthusiastic and enjoying the Masonic experience, whatever that means in your lodge. It might be some lodges are much more esoteric in thought and kind of leaning towards the spiritual side of Freemasonry, and others may be much more involved in fellowshipping and just enjoying that and relaxation, those kinds of things. So making sure that people get into the right lodge is always important, and making sure then that we know what they're looking for when they're in that process of joining is really important as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
If lodges follow the 6 steps as it's written, you'll get the right people.
Yeah. Are there any guidelines for doing things like lodge retreats? The answer to that is really no. There are no guidelines for something like that. It is something left up to the master. Maybe the lodge would just plan it. But are there some guidelines for outdoor degrees, Brother Tom?
Oh, that's a great question. If a lodge is interested in doing an outdoor degree and they've never done one before, they should contact the Grand Lodge office. I'll let them know what their dates that they have in mind, the location, and then the Grand Lodge office will contact me and I will come out and review the situation to see if it's tileable and is workable.
Yeah.
And then they'll get their dispensation if everything comes out.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
okay,
great.
so if your lodge is considering an outdoor degree, first step, contact the Grand Lodge office. That's Karen, Darren, Jamie, and they'll get your information, and then they'll reach out to Tom and take it from there. You do need a special dispensation from the Grand Master to do that.
Yeah.
And the first step of that, brothers, is that Tom has to go out and approve that site. So, yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, that's the end of our questions.
Did we pass the test?
I think you did pretty good. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
good. Way to go, Tom.
All right. Thanks to everybody. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Any ideas that any of you have to make this a little bit better? Any people you'd like us to interview? We're going to try to kind of spice this up over the fall and winter months and leading up into Grand Lodge session, and just make it more enjoyable. We'd love to hear from you. So keep in touch, and we'll see you next time on Trowel Time. Thank you, Bill and Tom, and Ben.
And Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.